Tell us about your team now, because my understanding is that now you have a few people that you've hired.
Yeah.
And we've hired people now. You know, can we make the announcement about you, Jack?
No,
we can't make that yet.
Well,
Jack
now
is looking,
you have to.
Jack is looking for his own Jack, aren't you?
yeah. I've hired out a few of my projects right now. And it's really nice because then it gives me more time to focus on other things and more free time that I can just enjoy and spend working, doing things. But yeah, I found someone to take care of a few things. For example, this podcast right now is being edited by a new person.
Ooh,
so
Jack's
shout
got
out
a
that
Jack.
new person. Yeah.
Jack has got a Jack.
It's really nice. Yeah.
Will the audience know the difference?
No. Because you know why? How long have you had this Jack for?
Like editing the podcast?
Just in general.
A month and a half.
A month and a half. Nobody's noticed.
Yeah, no one said anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is such a value to having employees that can really help you advance.
Oh, yeah.
There is a point where, and it's always this tipping point where sometimes you get to too many employees to where it feels like you added another employee, but they're doing. Let me rephrase this. Think about it this way: you add one employee, the productivity from that one person, amazing, helps you out so much. You add another person, you get maybe 50%. You add another person, you get like 20%. It feels like sometimes there's this diminishing return.
It's diminishing marginal utility.
There you go.
Gosh, Jack, see, that's what I've been telling Jack. Jack and I have been going back and forth over this. We agree on 90% of stuff. There's 10% that we don't agree on. And, you know, I have my way and Jack said on his way. But one of the things is hiring out people. And every guest we have on the podcast is like, you guys should be hiring that out. And they hear about my schedule. Oh, you're working 12 hours a day. You should be hiring that out. Find someone else to script your video. I'm like, you don't get it. No. But they always say hire. And I see Jack's eyes just light up. He's like, we should hire. We need more people. And I'm telling Jack, no.
I just don't think we're at that place where the diminishing marginal utility is so low that it's not worth a basic salary.
So not to boost your ego here, Kevin, but I say, look at Kevin. You're the only example that I've ever given Jack. I'm like, look at what Kevin's doing. Whatever Kevin's doing, I want to do that. Stop.
Well, he's posting several times a day.
Right,
and
but look
barely
at the productivity.
his videos.
But look at the productivity.
Right, but do you want to do that as well?
I can't post as many times.
So Kevin's not. I don't think it's a fair comparison, just based off of the types of videos.
Well,
that are
I
being
guess
produced.
more broadly, the way to look at it is, at no point should you have too many employees to where you start feeling resentful, like the productivity is going down. I think that's the ultimate test. And I've gone through this many times, once with my construction company, once with the campaign, and then more recently where I'll hire folks, same thing, again, construction, campaign, and more recently, hire folks, first, lots of productivity. Second, lots of productivity. Feels great, love it. Then you add 2, 3 more or whatever. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, the last addition has not been what you expected potentially. And now all of a sudden, and this is the dangerous part, is if one person becomes less productive, everybody else sees that as, oh, well, if they can get away with being less productive, let me be less productive. And then it hurts the whole ship, right?
That's interesting.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's so dangerous, especially if you're trying to build a company, because imagine if you had a 5-person team and 2 of them were slackers, but now you 10x this and you had a 50-person team. That means you have 20 people on payroll that you're paying that are actually hurting the other 30. That's really bad. So it's really difficult to let people go, but sometimes it has to be done for the sake of growing properly, I think. And it's been really hard because I've done that in the construction company, I've done that in the campaign, and there'll always become a time where I have to do that again. I love hiring, but I've also been very frustrated because there are so many times I've looked and I'm like, okay, I'm paying somebody for 8 hours for something I can do in 30 minutes. And that's when you're having those comparisons, that's when you know you have the wrong person for the job.
Right.
So that I think is, and I'm not expecting somebody to work the way I do.
Yeah.
But like if something takes me 2 hours, it shouldn't take you 20.
Right.
And sometimes there's a training element to that as well. And some people just don't care. And that's a danger about us being public finance folks, is they see, oh, well, that's how much money you're making.
Yes.
You owe me. And we see this a lot in society, is that people have this belief that, well, you owe me a living wage. Well, you owe me, my rent, or you owe me this. Well, my belief has always been you should provide your value first, prove how good you are first, and then get paid more. If you're not getting paid more, then it's time to move on, right? But for example, one I'll just go back into the past. One person, and I'll stop talking about this.
No, I find it interesting.
yeah,
Keep talking.
okay,
Keep
yeah,
talking.
okay. So I'll make a hypothetical example because I don't want to reveal numbers for their own privacy's sake. But let's say somebody, and again, fake numbers here, but similar scale. Let's say somebody started working for $20,000, and you're like, oh my gosh, this person has this incredible perspective. They're early to work. They're the last to work, last to leave work. And they provide perspective that's valuable, and they really care. Even though they might make mistakes, which is totally normal. Mm-hmm. Mistakes are different from lack of caring, right? Mm-hmm. They put in the effort, and they try to get better every day. That person has, in my world, gone from making 20K to making 60K to making 120K. Mm-hmm. Different scale, larger scale, but that exists. And that, in my opinion, is what that's the goal if you're going to hire folks, is you want to hire people where you're like, I value them so much, I will gladly pay them more. And if you're ever feeling bitter, they got to go. And that is probably my biggest weakness, is I don't let people go soon enough. You know, somebody told me yesterday, I went to sushi with them. He does wholesaling, product wholesaling with China. So he's in the depths with this whole supply chain nightmare. He does little Gorbanza bags where they put, like Christmas things in or whatever. Anyway, he sells but think about it like he buys them for 5 cents, sells them for a quarter, right? Mm-hmm. That's the goal. So he'll buy thousands of these. Anyway, so he's very experienced working with employees, and he's always said that, unfortunately, if somebody's not productive in your company, you've hired them, what they're really doing is there's no difference between them being unproductive and them just stealing from you at one point. And so he has this really extreme view of that. And I think this is a little too far, but he's like, if you're running a business and you want it to be successful and you don't want to go bankrupt, like 50 to 60% of businesses do go bankrupt, then you almost have to be, and this is such an evil word, but he said it, you have to be a tyrant. And to the point where if somebody's not productive, they got to go. And you want to give people warnings, you want to be able to train people, right? So there's always that. But beyond that, if somebody's not caring, and obviously their head's not in the right place, they don't care about the success of the business, they got to go. And so that's always been a big struggle for me, because I never want to be the guy that's like, oh, you're fired. That is the worst possible thing. I just want to be able to say, I want to hire, but I know I'll go bankrupt if I keep doing that.